So we have history here in Bridgend. It's the first Super League fixture to feature two non-English teams. And fresh from their first Super League win, the Crusaders go for that first home victory against the team that's lost its last four in the Super League and in the Challenge Cup. The Catalan Dragons, though, they're doing it tough in 2009 under a new coach, Kevin Walters. He's won just 5 of the first 15. But the club model, really, for the Celtic Crusaders, they were both formed in 2006. The Dragons entered Super League that year. They finished bottom of the pile. They finished 10th in 2007, and they finished 3rd in 2008. Sadly, nothing but woe for them over the past month. 4 successive defeats, and they've conceded an average of more than 38 points per game. But this is very much south of France weather here today. It is a glorious evening, and just wonder whether that will have any effect at all on the way the Celtic Crusaders approach this match. They're fresh from their first Super League win. They go for the first home victory, and the fixture planners, well, they hardly were sympathetic to the cause. On entry to the Super League, the Crusaders began with a match at Leeds, and they have played 4 of their first 12 matches, that's all, here at the Brewery Field. But they have a great chance now, with so many home games to come in the next 10 weeks, to really make a mark on the Engage Super League. And there is wonderful enthusiasm for the sport down here, as has been evident throughout the course of this day. It has almost been like a garden party out there. There's been entertainment from around about midday, the sun is shining, and there's a lot of new rugby league fans in this part of the world, and Steve-O, if the Crusaders do anything, they certainly are spreading the gospel.
Yeah, they're doing a good job down here, and their coach John Dixon, he always had the faith in his players, and they were rewarded last week. It was a fine win against Bradford, against all the odds, let's face it. But Catalans, of course, they've only won twice away from home this year. As Eddie's already mentioned, you know, Kevin Walters, their new coach, it's been an up and down season, but the weather has to play some part of this because it really is warm out there. At long last, maybe summer has arrived here, especially down in Wales anyway. An historic moment for Super League.
I tell you what, Steve-O, they have got the loudest PA system in the world here, and we've just heard it every second of the build-up to this match. They obviously have got some big speakers in South Wales. The ball just falling off the kicking tee there, so the Crusaders now will get this match underway, courtesy of the boot of Josh Hannay. And a big blow for the Catalan Dragons before the match. Casey Maguire, he apparently arrived with a damaged shoulder, and he has had extensive treatment on it throughout the week. He was put through his paces, and he's out after 13 successive appearances. His last absence was at Warrington way back on the 21st of February. So how they will cope without him, we will wait and see. But I must say that Kane Bentley, when he's come on in the past few weeks as a replacement, it's his 9th in a row, but only his 2nd start in that sequence. But he has looked pretty useful. And there he is in the black head guard in at dummy half. Outside. And he got the ball away to Greg Bird, who kicks it downfield. There was almost a little fumble there from Damien Quinn. But the Crusaders in possession, and Matty Smith is their dummy half. He gets the ball away, and this is Luke Dyer.
A lot of responsibility on the shoulders of Matty Smith as well, and of course the skipper, Jace Van Dijk. Van Dijk's kicking game was instrumental, and that's a very poor pass indeed. Jordan James came to the rescue. It was instrumental, as I say, especially the short kicking game by Van Dijk. If they get anywhere near the line, don't worry, the Welsh outfit will be very dangerous.
Bit quicker, Greg, up the ruck.
The long kick downfield, and Stephen Bell is operating on the wing here today. Major signing, of course, Stephen Bell. He has contested the last 2 NRL Grand Finals in Australia with Manly. This is Clint Greenshields. He plays the ball to Bentley. And they're certainly a big physical side, aren't they, the Catalan Dragons? They look head and shoulders above the Celtic Crusaders out there on the field, I must say.
They certainly do, especially in the forwards as well. And they're not light. How wide are they? I mean, I think it's a smart move by Kevin Walters to move Stephen Bell onto the wing. It's taken a while to settle in the centre position. But when you have a look at number 15, Jean-Philippe Bale, boy, he's massive.
Bentley is the dummy half. Here is the engineer-in-chief, Thomas Bosk, who hoists the high kick and into the sunshine, but it comes down and it's claimed by Luke Dyer. It's a pleasure to have John Devereux alongside us today, the former Widnes, Wales and Great Britain international. And John, you have been preaching the faith down here for many years, but how good is it to have the Celtic Crusaders in Super League and a presence in this part of the world at last?
Well, they came quicker than we hoped, and when they obviously now they've arrived, it's fantastic, obviously. And to get the first win last week, that's what they needed, and hopefully they can build on that momentum.
Let's hope so indeed, as the ball is driven forward for them here. It's back now in the arms of Matty Smith, and he will hoist the high kick. And everyone's waiting for this. Oh, Adam Mogg has fumbled it backwards. Cyril Stakul has knocked the ball forwards. That will be head and feet at this scrum, I think, to the Celtic Crusaders. Nobody looked interested in claiming this high ball.
Well, not the best, was it, from Adam Mogg? Really should have had that.
Just give us an head and feet, Steve.
Be interesting to see. Well, give a head and ball here. Surely it was the Crusaders.
Make sure you come out clean.
Yes, definitely. He did say knock on by the Catalan Dragons, did Richard Silverwood. Van Dijk has ball in his hands. He feeds the scrum. And it's now here with Josh Hannay. The referee has caught the Catalan Dragons offside at the scrum. It's a differential penalty, even though they're bang in front of the sticks. They're not allowed to kick for goal here, the Celtic Crusaders.
I don't think he realises, so he knows he's got to change the attitude. It's so this will be a tap.
Kevin Ellis was on his way out there with the kicking tee.
They soon send him off.
So it'll be driven in here by Jordan James, who celebrates his 29th birthday tomorrow, by the way, the Welsh international.
Go!
Movement all around the base of the play here. It's good movement. It's Hannay! First try for the Celtic Crusaders. Josh Hannay on his 40th appearance for the club. The man from Queensland. He's in the sunshine in South Wales tonight, and he's come up with the first four-pointer, as the PA announcer is probably telling you in the background.
Well, you can't miss him, that's for sure, Eddie, but they can't miss the fact that it was quick hands. Got it out right to the left-hand side. And they were all at sea in defence there. Hesitation by the centre, Adam Mogg. He couldn't decide whether to go in or out. And it all came about by this error by the winger, Cyril Stakul. They got the possession, then they got the penalty. They were forced to take the tap, couldn't go for the two, didn't need it. They'll say, we'll take four instead. Good finish by Hannay.
And a first try on this ground for Josh Hannay in 11 months. Well, he's also the man who's doing the kicking, of course. He got 5 from 8 goals, the best of the year for him last week against the Bradford Bulls. And he was deemed in Australia to have taken a huge gamble, this fellow, because he left North Queensland Cowboys in 2007 for the Celtic Crusaders in the days when they were appearing in National League One. Well, the gamble has paid off for him, I think. And here is Hannay to try and add the extras, trying to drift the ball over the top of that crossbar, and he does. A wonderful tip from Josh Hannay. And the Crusaders off to a perfect start. It's 6-0.
As I mentioned before, the hesitation, you can see him circle there, the centre, Adam Mogg. Hesitates just enough, and it squeezes through. He couldn't get across in time, couldn't Mogg, and finished exceptionally well.
Good line.
I think Lincoln Withers has made a big difference for the Crusaders since he's come over, and you know, that change with switching it to the blind caught the Catalans a bit off guard there.
But I'm afraid the Celtic Crusaders caught a bit off guard direct from the kickoff. The ball bouncing in between two players over there, and that means it's head and feet at this scrum now to the Catalan Dragons.
I think everybody appreciates the importance of kicking nowadays in rugby league, and we've got two of the best, Matthew Smith and Thomas Bosk. We've got to see what difficult problems they've caused for the opponents by great kicks.
And this is Adam Mogg, and he's been missed by 2, he's been missed by 3, and in the end it was Hannay who came to the rescue for the Celtic Crusaders. And it's now time for the home team to muscle up in defence. Kane Bentley waits at dummy half as the big man Dane Carlisle plays the ball to him. Here is Thomas Bosch, this now is Jerome Guisset. Guisset is halted. Bentley again sweeps it left, good ball, and there's the equalising try for the Catalan Dragons from Greg Bird. Such an influence in this team is Greg Bird. And well, the lead didn't last long, did it? Greg Bird over for the try, and the kick to come that will level the scores up. Greg Bird was impressive last week against St Helens and in the home win against Wigan over Easter. He's a controversial signing, only on a 9-month contract, this fellow, but he is a talent.
And it all came about from the error from the kickoff. How many times do we see this in Super League? One team has come up with a try and they relaxed from the kickoff, and it was easy for Bird. Just coming wide, came on the arc. Nothing that Smith could do about it. He's got great upper body strength to this fella. The standoff from the skipper today. Greg Bird puts the French outfit. 4 points on the board. Can they equalise? Can they get the conversion?
Well, with a man like Thomas Bosch doing the kicking, you would have to say yes. I must say that Adam Mogg's run down the right-hand side caused Celtic Crusaders all sorts of trouble down there, and then they had the presence of mind and quickness of thought to be able to switch the play over to the other side, and Greg Bird was over for the try. Bosch here to level the scores. He's a kicker of fine quality, the French international. Thomas Bosch.
Yeah.
He came into this match needing 6 points for 600 with the club, so he's rattled off 2 of them.
All he needs is to create the overlap. Look how Matty Smith has just gone in. There's already somebody there with a ball carrier, and as soon as it was offloaded, they were never going to stop Greg Bird.
The conversion to the Catalan Dragons was also kicked by the strike scorer.
Well, I think the phrase end-to-end springs to mind.
Say on, lads.
As you said it, Steve, how often do you see that? You score a try and you make a mistake straight from the kickoff. It's just basics.
Catalan Dragons trying to avoid doing the same. Green Shields is the man who fielded the kickoff. It's Jerome Guisset with the first stride forward.
Move!
Referee Richard Silverwood shouting the instructions to the Crusaders. That's a good hit on Dane Carlisle there, though, by Chris Beasley. And here's a penalty, messing around, pulling at the ball, trying to dislodge it, trying to steal the ball, trying to make the referee think it was a knock-on.
Well, one, you've done all the hard work. It always amazes me why these players just want to continue on. It's as though they say, I want to prove how tough I am or I'm strong. You can do that in different ways. Don't give away a penalty.
Cyril Gossard will play the ball to Bentley. Carlaw takes it forward. That is a knock-on. Oh, and that's not clever, but the referee will bring them back for the first offence.
That's great defence.
Forward pass. Back here, Jerome.
That's a way to get right underneath it. And that was good work by Georgian James. Got right into the rib cage.
Keep listening in that ruck, Ryan. What's that? Keep listening in that ruck.
Nothing that Dane Carlisle could do about that.
It's his 40th Catalan Dragons appearance tonight. Top last week against St Helens also.
No, it's not good enough, lads.
I must say, they looked very impressive on their own soil last week against St Helens. Saints, though, having enough know-how to get the victory. Here's another penalty from the whistle of Richard Silverwood. No movement at the ruck.
No, you put him on his back.
Olivier Ellemer appealing to the referee, saying he was innocent, but Richard Silverwood having none of it. Matty Smith deposits that ball into touch.
Well, you can see quite clearly they're trying to just do the turtle again. I don't think I've seen this season in one game anybody get away with a turtle when the possession has been stopped, when the man with the ball has been just stopped from getting any progress. The referee's just going to give a penalty. Can't blame him, the man with the whistle.
Chris Beasley plays the ball. Here is Lincoln with us. Now it's Jace Van Dijk, finds Matty Smith. Matty Smith just holds it up briefly. The defence had moved across, though, in numbers. Damien Quinn is waiting there as Chan gets to his feet, plays the ball to him. Smith then takes over, and then Jordan James goes without the ball.
Move! Hold! Go, 0.
So this is Jean-Philippe Bale,
One now. Move,
operating in
Ryan.
the centres.
Oh.
Jean-Philippe, he's one of the most exciting talents in France. He really is, and very highly rated, I know, by Kevin Walters.
Move.
What is like an extra forward is playing out wide in the centres today.
3 now.
But that's pretty good defence, though it looks as though Jordan James has picked up a bit of a knock. There's 2 down. Did they clash?
Jace Van Dijk and Jordan James.
4th tackle. Head injury.
Adam Mogg was able to get up and play the ball, but Van Dijk certainly took a hefty bang on the head here.
I hope he's okay. He broke his jaw last year, and that put him out for a long time. So he's a very influential player, and it could do with him staying on the field.
And you know all about broken jaws, Don, don't you?
Oh, yes.
You were telling us your last match, Malmeninga?
Yeah, down in when the Welsh team played
We were
the
there,
Australians.
I remember it. It was a horrible sight. I remember it well.
30th of October in 1994, and 8 minutes past 3 to be precise.
4.
I don't blame you. You were badly hurt that day. It's good to see the boyish good looks haven't been affected too much.
Thank you for that.
Let's get straight down to Bill.
It's Jordan James who's come off second best in that particular clash of heads. In actual fact, he's the one leaving the field, or he's on the sidelines getting treatment for a cut to the mouth. Jace Van Dijk is back on his feet. I think James is returning to the action now.
That ball came loose there, but the referee says it's another penalty. Richard Silverwood is blowing the pea out of the whistle here. The referee, 4th penalty, 2 apiece.
Well, it's claimed that it's been reefed away. I'm not so sure. I didn't see any arm from Dyer on that occasion.
Why would a Celtic player try and pull the ball at the...
When he's
Your
going to it,
intention
yeah.
is push it. No, I don't think he was. I'm saying I don't think they did. I think it's a mistake by the touch judge on that side of the field.
I agree.
Guisset played the ball there. It's his 100th appearance for the Catalan Dragons. Jerome Guisset, the first man to reach that milestone. Of course, he's had Super League experience with both Warrington and Wigan. Here is Clint Greenshields. This fella's a danger. And Matty Smith saw to it that he wasn't making any more progress. That's 3 tackles gone. Jean-Philippe Bale trying to use his weight. Chan got to him.
What a tackle from Chan. Just stopped the big fella.
Bentley to Bosk. Bosk then spreads it and finds Bird. Bird manages to hop away from trouble, releases it to Adam Mogg, and Mogg will drive it in once again.
5 now.
That's the advantage of Greg Bird. You know, he can spin in the tackle, but he was looking for the second phase. There was none forthcoming there. Kick.
Nice little dink over the top by Bosk. Oh, it bounces perfectly. It's a try for Greenshields, this. I think the referee will hand it upstairs to the video referee to check whether he's onside or not.
Onside and the ground.
And the grounding looked a little bit shaky as well, but I think Greenshields did get it down.
Beautiful kick there from Bosk. He looks okay. They're all onside as far as I'm concerned. He'll just see whether it was touched. That's a knock-on. That is a knock-on because Greenshields, as far as I'm concerned, is in front when he touches his football. And as soon as it hits his own player, it's offside. Either classified as a knock-on. They'll be looking to see how they restart this. But I think it's certainly been touched again by Bosk, who does the kick. But I think that Greenshields is just a shade in front. I wouldn't give this. Stuart Cummins is our video referee this evening. But I think he's lost control of it and is in an offside position.
Well, Greenshields, they've not looked at the touchdown, so presumably this is ruled out, and it is.
No try.
And it's the turnover, because that was on the last, but there's a little danger sign there, a little warning bell for the Crusaders.
Well, the defence was hanging off, and you can't allow the likes of Thomas Bosk to control it. You've got to get someone on him to apply that pressure, make sure that it's not a precision kick.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's a situation where they are a little bit weak in this league. Certainly, they when they're in the last quarter, they don't move up.
Okay.
This is O'Hara, who gets to his feet. Lincoln with us, Jace Van Dijk. And then the ball is tried to be propelled through the middle. Withers and Smith. Going for a 40-20, Matty Smith, but Greenshields had funneled across to that left-hand side to cut the danger out. Chan was first to him. Here goes Stephen Bell. Delacourt with the tackle there. Here is Oliver Ellimer.
They've tightened up their defence. John Dixon has got the message out. They're just allowing the French outfit to get over the advantage line.
Guisset driving it forward again. Bentley in at dummy half. He gives it to Bosk. He spreads it wide and finds Bird. And Bird hops away from a couple, then dumps the ball down, and that is a knock on by Gregory Muniz.
Well, I already mentioned the fact that the quality of Bird, the ability to step and just attract the would-be defenders, and the second phase really was stood. They've only got themselves to blame. He should have been, Muniz that is, the loose forward, he should have been running onto the football. They got one against the head.
They have. That is
a rarity.
Unusual.
Yeah.
Really is unusual. And not only that, now they have the penalty. The referee noticed that Ben Flower dropped on the grounded player with the elbow, he said, so hence the penalty is given by for Catalan Dragons by Richard Silverwood. Thomas Bosch deposits it into touch. Here comes Jerome Guisset, and suddenly the Crusaders on the back foot. Bentley waiting at dummy half again. And it's time now for the Crusaders to muscle up in defence. Bentley is there once more, fires the pass to Bosk. Here is Bird. Tries to step inside the defender, gets it away to Clint Greenshields. And Greenshields is dropped to the ground by Josh Hannay. Adam Mogg. And now the run here from Cyril Gossard. Bentley again. Bird off the chest of Morgano. He juggled it twice then and managed to hang on. Thomas Bosk. Thomas Bosk goes down on the last tackle here, says Richard Silverwood. Bentley to Mogg, comes back the inside, finds Bosk again. Bosk drops the ball onto the toe. Hannay clears up, but he's got a lot of work to do. These are very deep in goal areas here. And Hannay cannot get out of that particular area, and that is why the goal line dropout will come in here from the Celtic Crusaders. Good pressure from the Dragons.
Wonderful play by the halfback, Thomas Bosk. He really has injected himself over the last 10 minutes, made sure that he's controlling the French outfit. Not only that, he's getting there along with his teammates to apply the pressure, force the dropout.
Jason, let's keep listening in the ruck.
But it's all pressure that they're putting on themselves. You know, they lost the scrum, and they just find themselves under the cosh a bit here.
And they are, and here comes Gossard again. Good chase, though, from the goal line dropout. Plenty of height on it. This is Adam Mogg. Now it's Dane Carlaw again for the Dragons. Second tackle, says Richard Silverwood. Bentley. On his inside is Muniz. He fires the pass to Bosk. And here is Olivier Ellimer bursting through. Quinn can't stop him. From the goal line dropout, the Crusaders have conceded their second try. And Olivier Ellimer comes up with the second four-pointer. This man appointed joint captain of the French national side by the French international coach, Bobby Goulding.
Super play, though. Utilised the dummy runner, and then Bosk. Was it a shade forward? Little bit of doubt about that one, but take nothing away from the quality of Bosk. They thought it was going to be utilised as a second dummy runner, but it wasn't. Ellimer takes the ball. Little bit of lady luck going towards the French side on that occasion, but the quality of the position of this man coming round on the arc, and Thomas Bosk yet again, the creator. Well finished by this big fellow.
Just his angle, wasn't it? The angle he cut, it was fantastic, and you know, beat the defensive line there.
Yes, problem whenever the Dragons come forward, the Crusaders, if they, and John Dixon will know this as well, if they're on the back foot, the Dragons have the talent to punish them. It's going to be Thomas Bosk who will take the kick at goal inevitably from almost exactly the same spot that he was successful with the first. He's nearly had the shirt ripped off his back, as you can see. Thomas Bosk suddenly become a little low-cut number that he's wearing. But Bosk has got a great eye for the goal. And there's another successful kick for Thomas Bosch. He's creeping up towards that landmark for him, isn't he, of 600 points for the club. Only needs 2 more. But the Catalan Dragons ahead here, 12 points to 6. And a change of shirt for Bosch.
The basic principle in rugby league, you don't have to run at the man that's your defender, you run into the gap, and that's exactly what Elmer did. But I think it was a bit dubious, the pass. Richard Silverwood was in a pretty good position, and the TRY is given.
Olivier Elmer, the try scorer. They've won at Warrington and Harlequins this year, but they've lost at Hull, Wakefield, Leeds and Hull KR. But they know how to win away from home. Certainly in 2008, they won 8 times on the road under Mick Potter. Just struggling a little bit at the moment to come to terms maybe with life under the new coach. New ideas from Kevin Walters.
It's always difficult to settle in, but he really didn't have any option but to sort of just follow in the footsteps of Michael Potter. Well, I must say, I had a tremendous season with them last year.
That was
great
Bell.
play.
Great ball on the inside. Here comes Greenshields. Mogg wants it fed wide. It goes instead to Bell. There's a missed tackle there. There's another missed tackle there as the managed to get hold of him, Anthony Blackwood. This is the last tackle here for the Dragons. It's with Greg Bird. They've loaded up down this right-hand side. It's a drive for the line here by Cyril Gossard.
Oh, he's got it away.
He has to Bird, and Bird will slide the kick in. Hannah has missed it. It's a try here. It's a try. I'm almost certain for Adam Mogg.
Well, he fully deserved a try. The inside pass was superb. Stephen Bell started it way down the field. Looked as though they're going to the left, and then he switches it back to the right. The kick's through. They're all onside. They had the numbers there, but I'm afraid they couldn't get to it. He misses it. I think it's Josh Hannay that misses it. Was there any interference? Was there a push from Mogg? Well, he seems quite happy with the replay, but to me, there appeared to be just before all this happened. That's fine as far as I'm concerned. He's got it down as a centre Adam Mogg. But was there a push?
Well, he's had persistent hamstring problems this year, Adam Mogg.
Yes, yes.
But I think he might have got the try here. What does Stuart Cummings say? Yes, the try is given. And Adam Mogg, this is only his 9th appearance of the year, but he is such a pivotal member of this Catalan Dragons side.
The most amazing thing in this whole play, really, from the break inside their own half, was the ability of Cyril Gossard to get the ball free in the tackle. He was given it on the last play. He knew with 3... It appeared as if he had 3 defenders around him. I'm unsure, but great play by the number 17. Knowing that it was the last tackle, he had to keep the ball alive, and in doing so, it helped to put another 4 points on the scoreboard.
Well, Thomas Bosch has tried his hand from the left-hand side of the field. Now he gets to try from the shadow of the main stand here. I must say it's all gone a little bit quiet, hasn't it, at the Brewery Field in Bridgend, because the Dragons have shook them a bit. This time Thomas Bosch is unsuccessful with the kick, but it's 16-6 to the Dragons.
The Catalan's conversion has been missed, but it was 6 Thomas Bosch.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing, John. And I just thought that there was a definite push here by the centre. It's a good drive, and you can see how it just pulls in the defenders. They were very, very slow, and once they offloaded, they were all in a lot of trouble. Was that a push? Oh, it appeared that way to me.
Josh Hannay was, as he was going to flick it away, it looked like he had a contact on him. So I think they missed that one.
Well, video referee Stuart Cummings was very happy with it. So it's 16 points to 6 to the Catalan Dragons. Crusaders restart again off the left foot of Josh Hannay.
I think the most worrying thing, Eddie, was the ease with which Catalan split them around the play of the ball. Remember, Stephen Bell just got out, turned it back inside to Greenshields, and they went through such an easy gap, really. You know, 20 minutes or so into a game, to be able to penetrate your opponent so simply around the ruck is a worry for the Dragons. Sorry, for the Crusaders.
Jace Van Dijk gets to his feet, still Stakul plays it. There is David Ferriol on the field now. He is an awesome sight, Ferriol, big man. And Bird with a kick down the line. Damien Quinn waits for it, it bounced kindly into his arms in the end. Bird is the man who put the kick in. Bird's the man who follows up with the tackle. Down to Bill.
Eddie, Gregory Muniz is the man who's come off for the Catalan Dragons. He got a bang on the side of the head and was holding an ice pack to the side of his head a few moments ago. Obviously still feeling a little bit groggy. So on comes, as you say, David Ferriol, who is an awesome performer when he's in the mood. He is very much a mood player. If he's in the mood today, then that could spell trouble for the Celtic Crusaders.
Indeed so. Ferriol, 30 last week, 14 times a French international. Almost certain to be in Bobby Goulding's plans for the international next month against England in Paris. Match you'll be able to see, of course, with us here on Sky Sports Live on the night. Here is Matty Smith. That was charged down. Well, the Crusader...
He should have played on. He didn't realise.
He didn't, and what's more, he's put the knock on, and I think it's Jordan James, isn't it?
No, it's Ben Flower.
Or was it Ben Flower? I beg his pardon. Beg Jordan's pardon. It was Ben Flower.
Well, just not alert enough there. It's ricocheted, and if you raise your arm, that, to me, seems that you've attempted to go for the ball. That should have been picked up by Flower very, very quickly indeed. The biggest problem for John Dixon, the Celtic coach at the moment, is that their forwards are not getting the superiority that they need. They're not getting into the advantage line. It is a big outfit, this French side.
Yeah, we remarked, didn't we, in the warm-up, Steve, we were looking at both of them. I mean, both of the sets of players. The Dragons look head and shoulders bigger than their Welsh counterparts.
Yeah, it's a point. I was talking to John Dixon in the week. He was mindful of their bigger pack and needed to stop them. But I'm just looking at the way they're driving and muscling up, and they're winning the battle at the moment against the Crusaders.
Yeah, stopping these big fellas is easier said than done, isn't it?
Well, it doesn't help with the fact that they're hanging back. They're not moving. They're taking 2 or 3 steps forward, and then looking to see what Catalans are doing.
That's better, though. They forced Jerome Guisset back about 7 or 8 metres there. And Bosch on the last puts the little kick in over the top. And eventually it is collected. And that was Blackwood. Oh, and that was a mess. And it's a knock on, he says. Although I think he was a bit hard done by here. There might have been a knee or an ankle involved. Blackwood feels that he has been hard done by. But it's head and feed to the Dragons.
Well, he wanted to get on with it.
He made a mess of it.
Well, I don't know. I think Moggs' knee is moved towards him.
I think if you watch it here, Steve, he loses the ball there.
Yeah, but it's the knee that has been utilised into it, and I think he's every right to complain to the official.
I'll get to him, don't worry.
But again, Eddie, these are all errors that the Crusaders are making themselves in the red zone and causing themselves so many problems.
Yes, and there's more problems here because it's Adam Mogg. Good job that Jace Van Dijk got to him. Perry is on, the dummy half, Shane Perry. He's missed the last 3. He's only played in 1 of the last 8, Shane Perry. But possibly fortunate that he was on the bench today with Casey Maguire's departure before the game. Greg Bird.
Did well to hang on to that. Yeah, I'm going to say, just saw from that, but the ability of this man, Greg Bird, he takes on the defence, he's always looking to offload there.
Going down the neck, please.
Yeah, just juggled it, just sufficient.
Yeah, I was watching him in the warm-up and they were practicing that a lot, getting that ball free, the arms free, and getting even that one-handed pass around the back. So he's a danger man.
He is, there's no question of that. A bit of a troubled character. He has to go back, of course, to Australia next month, I think it is.
And hold. Go.
To face the courts over there. But he is a rugby league talent, there's no doubt about it. A controversial signing for all of that, though, by the Catalan Dragons. Not allowed to come into this country and work by the UK Border Agency. Crusaders trying to get themselves back into the match. The crowd very, very quiet here. Jace Van Dijk, did he lose that? That looked very similar to what happened to Greg Bird a few minutes ago.
No, I think he got it back just on the moment, but they've lost about 5 metres.
And Smith under pressure with the kick. Gets it away though, not a bad one in the end. Stephen Bell picks it up. Bell will run it back, trying to go round Matty Smith, and almost does. It was Delacourt who was there as well.
Well, it was a good kick and it was a good chase, but they allowed the winger to skirt right out wide on that left-hand side.
It's the first time that Bella's played on the wing for the Catalan Dragons here today.
I think it's a smart move by Kevin Walters, mainly due to the fact that he looks a little bit uncomfortable, whether to try to take the step and then throw the pass out wide.
Remy Casti played the ball there. Here is David Ferriol, and he has found Bosco's a huge hole here for Cyril Gossard. Jerome Guisset put the ball down. That was a try that would have crowned his 100th appearance for this club. And Jerome Guisset knows that he has blown an absolutely perfect opportunity.
It was beautiful play, wasn't it? The build-up to this was outstanding. And Guisset will never have an opportunity to score an easier try. Kevin Walters knows it. Now, there are things like that, Phil Clark, that have a wonderful effect on a game from time to time.
You know, it could really be a turning point. Cyril Gossard never looked comfortable, did he, as he approached the fullback? Didn't feel happy with that 2v1 situation. It's over 20 minutes, Eddie, since Celtic had possession inside the opponent's half. You know what? That's a massive difference. And here with a penalty, missed try that they've actually, the missed opportunity to score the try. It will be a massive shift here in the momentum of the game. Found touch here, and as I say, over 20 minutes. Catalan have had 6 times as many play the balls in their opponent's half. Sooner or later, that has to readdress the balance, and I think the Crusaders should get over the halfway line in this set.
Well, they should, because they're just about 3 metres away from the halfway on the first tackle. Van Dijk, but good work from Guisset there.
Well, you say they should, Eddie, but that's been their problem. They haven't been able to go. Well, they will now because they get the penalty.
I tell you what, Eddie, penalty try is a very familiar format that we see in this game.
It is indeed.
Frustration there by Jerome Guisset.
When I call held in an upright
Just hanging
tackle,
around and they play the ball.
Take him to ground when I call held. No, mate.
Well, the referee telling Greg Bird that once he has called held in the tackle, the players cannot take the tackled man to ground.
Just shows you the
4th penalty that the Celtic Crusaders have received, and as Phil Clark rightly says, 2 in a row, and penalty try is a very well-known sequence in Super League. Let's see if the Celtic Crusaders can continue on with that.
Well, the first
here by Ben Flower.
First real opportunity for about 15 minutes as they've had an opportunity to apply the pressure.
And that was a real chance for Darren Mapp. He'll play it here to Lincoln Withers. Withers back on the inside. David Tangata drops it.
Knock on. It was a super move. The run on the inside and then the flick back.
Well, he's handing this upstairs again, but I think, well,
no, he's dropped it.
He's definitely dropped this.
Yeah, Tangatoa has definitely dropped it.
Or is he looking whether the ball, and it wasn't, whether he was looking whether the ball was stolen?
Nope.
Penalty bomb try, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
He scored in a very similar fashion at Bradford last week, Tangata Toa. I think Greg Bird's done a remarkable job, hasn't he? He just pulled on the arm.
There should be no try, though. Full credit, though, to Tangata Toa. He was he's only about half an inch away from getting it in on the second go. He loses it. This will be confirmation of NOTRY. It is.
And he'll restart on the 20-metre line. So John Devereux spot on. Penalty, and opportunity for a try absolutely blown. Kevin Ellis watching on the sidelines here, and he and John, as the Dragons come up with a mistake on the first tackle, they're off on a walk in July, and they're looking for volunteers. Is that right, John? There's some important work to be done.
Yeah, it's a sponsored walk in aid of lung cancer on the 5th of July from the middle of Bridgend down to a famous landmark called the Stepping Stones in Ogmore by Sea. So yeah, we're just lending a hand to the worthy cause and looking forward to it.
Well, best of luck with it, and I understand that Kevin Ellis is training very busily for this. He's even cycling to work these days to make sure that he's fit enough to take part in that sponsored walk. This now is Lincoln Withers. It's a golden opportunity here for the Crusaders. Mistake, as you saw, by the Catalan Dragons has just opened the door slightly.
Well, they need something to lift their spirits, that is for sure, and he's lost the ball.
It's a scrappy game. Ben Flower just couldn't hang on to the ball.
Well, he's claiming to the official that he was helped out. He said he was reefed away, but no, his progress has stopped already. You've got to keep control of that.
He's a very inexperienced player, but his raw talent and a very strong lad. Came from the rugby union background, local lad. So he's 100% effort, but he needs to pick up on those errors.
Mind you, he was a little hard done by there. The ball was almost tucked in the back of the wrist, and there was a knee there. And here is Guisset now losing the ball. Well, who's going to complete a set of 6 first in the last 10 minutes of this first half? Maybe the Crusaders can. This is Darren Mapp. He's not tackled. It's play on. Gossard eventually gets to it.
Bounced.
Dear me. Jace Van Dyke. Lincoln Withers flicks the pass up. It's a drive in here by Ryan O'Hara.
Wait.
Short side, Van Dyke.
Well, he's there, but no, they're going up the middle with Matty Smith. Back he comes to Tangata Toa. He brushes one off, sees a gap and goes for it, Tangata Toa.
He had the overlap out wide.
He got the ball away as well to Mark Delacourt. Now they'll come this way. Tangata Toa again, Matty Smith. Oh, and has lost the ball then. The tackle with David Ferry, or was it knocked out? No, the referee says it's the Dragons' ball, and no one can complete a set of 6 here.
Well, we said it was pretty warm before the start of this game. It kept the temperature pretty high throughout it. And you just wonder whether maybe sweaty palms, it's a bit of a problem out there.
Shoulder. 2. Move, Ryan.
Cyril Stacoul to his feet. Will play it to Josh Perry. It's a good run again by Greg Bird, but halted by flying tackles, Mapp and Van Dyke. Adam Mogg.
It's one thing he can do as well, you know, Greg Bird. He can substitute himself, not only as a half-back, he'll put himself in a forward. That was forward, talking of... But he can put him as an extra forward, but it's definitely an offload that was going forward.
Jamie Casti with the error this time.
I just think the Crusaders are having to work a lot harder in this game, and it could have a bearing at the end of this game with it being a bit warm out there. And certainly instances there, missed opportunities, a couple of mistakes. It just needs to be a bit sharper in the red zone, and I think they might get something from it.
I think you're right, John, and also the fact that every time that the French outfit have the ball, if there's a big forward running to them, they're needing 2, 3, and sometimes 4 men to put him down. That takes a lot of energy out of you.
Delacourt will play the ball. Can the Crusaders hold on for the full set of 6 here and produce something? They're just over the halfway line here. As Chan plays it. A lot of errors in the game. 16 Catalan Dragons have made 9 of them. But they lead by 16 points to 6 as Jace Van Dyke looks for the runners. It's Mapp.
4 down.
4 tackles gone, says referee Richard Silverwood. Van Dyke in at dummy half, down the short side, behind Damien Quinn. Ball went backwards. Tangata Toa will take it on.
He's got through a lot of work since he's come off the bench, and that's
Great
a good offload as well.
O'Hara. Good ball to Matty Smith. Plucked that out of the air, did Matty Smith. But he has dropped to the ground on the last tackle here.
Super work there by Thomas Bosk. He got himself in between so that the Celtic Crusaders could not get the ball out wide.
Good kick from Jace Van Dyke.
Took it well.
Comes down on...
Bust it backwards.
Well, it comes down on the Crusaders' side, as it turns out, courtesy of Cyril Gossard. Now then, the Crusaders will look, if they can, to force an error as we approach the last 5 minutes of this first half. Jean-Philippe Bale, no it isn't, it is Julian Tuxagas.
Go.
Adam Mogg up the middle and halted by Darren Mapp's tackle. O'Hara was there as well. Stephen Bell now. Well, they're all getting involved, aren't they, at dummy half? And Bell on the last tackle, right on the halfway line, plays it quickly to Mogg. Here's the kick from Bosk. Good kick from Thomas Bosk, that as well.
Good thinking. Shoves it right into the corner.
From his own goal line, Damien Quinn has to run it out. It's the pass inside.
Now look how important. We talk about kick and chase. They kicked into the right-hand side. They had 5 players running on and down on that right, but they also had another 5 on the left, which allowed the Crusaders nowhere to move. He's got them well trained and coached so far today, Kevin Walters.
Luke Dyer played that ball to Damien Quinn. This is Delacourt. Oh, he gets the ball away brilliantly. Really does. Another penalty here against the Catalan Dragons. I think it was for a high shot. It was Chan who was the man who felt it.
He had an impressive game last week, didn't he, Jason Chan? He reminded me of a very young Ellery Hanley in that last try in the corner.
Van Dijk goes down under the challenge from Greg Bird.
Hold, hold, go.
Withers, dummy half.
Well, that's much better. Well, the Welsh outfit getting over the advantage line on that. They just need to smarten up a little bit at the play the ball area as well.
Here's Damien Quinn. He pops the ball up to Chan.
Watch how the French outfit now will try to stop him from getting a quick play of the ball, which they do.
Withers. Matty Smith goes wide. This is Mark Dalacourt. But Bell and Bosk had read the situation perfectly.
Line. Go.
Smith looks for the runner, that's Van Dijk. Van Dijk will pop it up to O'Hara, but he went without it. And what's more, he got a pretty hefty shoulder in his chest from David Ferriol for his pains as well.
Well, the angle was good, the pass was good. Coming back on the inside, but you could see he just had a little look as to see what heavy traffic was ahead.
And there was plenty of that.
Yeah.
Don't break early. Keep going like that.
This is the bank holiday.
Okay. Wait.
These are all errors in good field position, and it's, you know, John Dixon will be very disappointed, if anything, with these errors.
Well, off to a perfect start, weren't they? They led 6-0, then they immediately conceded a try at the other end. It was 6-all before they could even think about building on the lead, and it was the Catalan Dragons who were then quite more dominant for about 10 minutes or so, built the lead, but since then, I must say that the game has gone very scrappy indeed.
Move. Hold, hold. Go.
The bottom two, of course, we're watching in Super League here tonight. The Dragons can go above Bradford if they win. Here's that man again.
Last. Fire. Move, Lincoln. Go. Okay.
Bosk and Gossard. Gossard, good feet from him. He's got Bosk in support. Oh, he fooled Blackwood completely. Bosk is there. Short ball to Perry, and Perry will go over under the sticks.
Okay, mate.
Josh Perry marks his comeback with a try.
Yeah.
He has only appeared on the winning side once, has Shane Perry. The former Brisbane Bronco, very well known to Kevin Walters. First try of the year for him.
Beautiful play by Gossard. Look at that, through the dummy. Went for the power play. The Celtic did everything right. They put the pressure on the kicker. He couldn't get it away, so they ran with it. And it was great support play by Perry. But this is outstanding. Kept his cool, step again, balance. Which way do we want to go? Offload. Well, it needs something to lift this game, as Eddie was mentioning. It got a little bit stale, let's put it that way, but that was anything but. That was sheer quality.
Concentration.
Yes, Shane Perry's try, and at a very, very opportune moment for the Catalan Dragons. And this kick for Thomas Bosk, bang in front of the posts, will take him to 600 points for the Catalan Dragons. No problems at all with that. And a very well-deserved milestone for Thomas Bosk. And the Catalan Dragons now have the game a little bit in their pocket. They're ahead by 22 points to 6.
When you've got the numbers there, you've got to make sure you put the man down. Maybe they was just a little bit slow, anticipating the fact that it was going to be a kick, perhaps, but it wasn't. Perry finishes off.
Good try from Perry, right on the stroke of half-time. You heard the siren sound in the background.